Hello, I'm Dwayne Shigg, and this is the Encouragement Show, the place where we talk about your passions, products, and your possibilities. Let me take this hat off. This is the place, as I said, where we talk about your passions, your products, and your possibilities. And this is the Encouragement Show, KLIQradio.com and Facebook Live, also Ustream and my YouTube channel. We're streaming now. This is not a simulcast, I guess it's a quadruple cast because we're on 4 different places. And so I am grateful for the listeners, for the viewers. I want to thank you for being with us this evening. And this is, if you're watching it live, this is the day after Independence Day. And so I hope everybody can still hear from, I don't know about your part of the country, but in the part of the country where I live, it sounds like a war zone, but we made it through and we're going to have a great show. Thank you so much, Cousin Anita. Thank you for watching. I thank you for being a part of the show. And to all others who are watching and listening, I want to thank you. If you're listening, if you're watching, I want to thank you for being a part of the Encouragement Show. Would you help me help your friends? Would you do that? If you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube, would you just hit the share button and let somebody know that we are on the air and we're spreading encouragement. This is the place to talk about your passions, products, and possibilities. And so we want to thank you. We're going to be talking today about the pursuit, about the journey. If you're a writer, singer, you're in school, whatever the case may be, if you are on what John Maxwell in his book, The Success Journey, it's a good book. I'm reading it for the second time now. If you are on your what he calls the success journey, not the journey to success, and he says that gives you destination disease. You can't be happy until you get to. But we are talking about those dreamers, doers, believers, and achievers that are on the success journey. He says the success is the journey. And so we're talking to you today. And we have 3 guests that are going to be talking with us that are on their journey. Miss Christian Irvin, she's on her journey to become a nurse. So she's doing that very well. And we'll be talking to also Maisha Garnett. She is a businesswoman, entrepreneur, and she left her regular 9-to-5 job to pursue her dream. We're going to be talking to her and to Miss Chriselle Briand, a songstress extraordinaire. And so we will be talking to her. And I want to ask you, if you're watching, I want to ask you, would you just put up for me, what journey are you on? Is it writing? Is it singing? Is it better health? What journey are you on? Because we want to help you today on your journey as we talk to our guests and we ask and answer some questions. We have some questions that were sent in to us. And so if you have a question, you can put it on the screen, or if you're listening, you can send it to drshig@gmail.com. Our show is brought to you in part by my latest book. It's called Go Get It, Stories and Steps to Seize Success. Some motivational messages, some of my own stories, and some encouragement quotes to help you. Here's one. Remember, when you see and do what others don't, you will be and have what others won't. I like that one. When you see and do what others don't, you will be and have what others won't. That's on page 18. So when you get your copy, you can look that up. And for a limited time, you can get an autographed copy. That's right, you can get an autographed copy. Just go to paypal.com, put in drshig@gmail.com, and just send in $18.99. That's what it is, $18.99 for your autographed copy. And Miss Cheryl Shigg, you have jokes. Oh, I thought you said you wanted your autographed copy. You said writing autobiography. See, my wife puts stuff on the screen. She just messes me up because it makes me think about the beautiful smile she has. And so I told her don't do stuff like that because I got a show to do and she just be messing up my brain. I know that's not good English, but that's what she does to me. So 36 years in about 2 weeks. And so you stop it, Cheryl, stop it. See there? My GM is going to get mad at you. I know she's not. She's going to get mad at me. Anyway, come back. I'm trying to be professional and she's messing me up. And so we want to, you can get your autographed copy, paypal.com, drshig@gmail.com, $18.99, and we'll get you an autographed copy of my latest book, Go Get It. And I want to talk to you if you have a book, a business, a product or service. The world needs to know about it. So consider being a sponsor of the Encouragement Show. That's right. I guarantee you we have a package that will fit your pocket. So become a sponsor of the Encouragement Show. For information on that, you can contact me at drshigg@gmail.com. That's drshigg@gmail.com. And I'm grateful to all of you that are watching. And what your pursuit is, Joanne, thank you so much for watching. All the rest of you, thank you for watching, and those who are listening at kliqradio.com and Ustream and my YouTube channel, I want to thank you. And as I said, today's show, we're talking about the pursuit, the journey. I was watching a video each day. I make a habit of listening to something encouraging, something motivating. And I was watching a video on YouTube, Tyler Perry's 10 tips for success, 10 rules for success. And the first one he gave was something that we've all heard: never give up, don't give up. We've heard him say it, we've heard others say it. We are familiar with the Churchill quote, never, 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 never give up. And that is true. You can't give up. But you know, sometimes that sounds good when you're on the retrospective end. Once you've gotten to a certain level, you're able to say, I didn't give up. But what about when you're on the journey? You're in the midst of the journey. You haven't obtained yet. It's not a question of maintaining, but you're still trying to obtain. You're on the road to. Thank you, Chris, for watching. Good to see you, brother. You're on the road to. You're on the journey to better health, writing the book, going after the goal. And it sounds good to say never give up. And that's true. But sometimes that's easier said than done. Would you agree? And so we want to talk to some people that are on the journey and talk about the pursuit, what happens in the pursuit. Want to talk to you about your pursuit. What is the pursuit like? What is the journey like? And so I want to ask you, if you're watching on Facebook Live, if you're watching on YouTube, put a comment up. But what journey are you on? Is it a book? Is it better health? Is it starting your business? Is it singing? What journey are you on? Because the journey can be laborious. The journey can be long. The journey can be all those things. The journey can be painful. The journey can seem withering. And it requires work. But one of the main things is it has to be worth it. Good to see you all. Miss Jackie, Sister Cynthia Norwood, thank you so much. And all of you that are listening at kliqradio.com. The journey is all those things. But the key is, it's got to be worth it. And so that keeps you from throwing in the towel. It won't keep you, from my experience, it won't keep you from feeling like throwing in the towel. Because what happens when the fifth book doesn't do what you want it to do? What happens when you set up an event and only 2 people show up? You and your wife. That happened to me. And so what keeps you going? What keeps you from giving up? And we want to find out from those who are on the journey what has helped them. And we want to talk to those who are on the journey to help them to not give up. Have you ever felt like giving up? Have you ever felt like quitting? Be it academic. I know when I was going to school, there was some frustration when I was working on my master's. I was working on my doctorate. Yes, Miss Jackie, I had to go there, working on those things. It's frustrating. You've got a 150-page paper to do, and you're writing, you're typing it, you're doing it, and then you're printing it out, and you're on page 148, and you run out of ink, and it's 8:56, and Staples closes at 9 o'clock, and it takes you 5 minutes to get there. What do you do? What do you do when the people say, I'm coming to the book signing, and they don't show up? Pastor Ruffin, good to see you. Thank you so much. What do you do when they say that they're going to be there, but they don't show up? What do you do? How do you handle it? Excuse me. And again, this is the third time the play didn't go well. This is the third time the event seemed to tank. What do you do? The journey, as I said, is laborious. The journey is long. It's not going to be a short trip. And what keeps you from as you're riding, what keeps you from saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And that can be frustrating. That can be irritating. And I know sometimes when you're on the journey, have you ever been going somewhere and the trip was so tumultuous that when you got to where you were going, you couldn't even enjoy yourself? The trip to the book signing, the trip to the #1 book, the trip to, and you fill in the blank. Sometimes it can be so laborious that when you get there, you can't enjoy it. And so this journey, this trip, want to talk about it. Want to ask you, what journey are you on? Just if you're watching by Facebook Live, I just need you to put that up on the screen. Put it in all caps. It's easier for me to read. What journey are you on? Are you writing a book, or do you want to? Are you starting a business, or do you want to? Is it educational? What is the goal? What is the journey? And so we want to talk to, we're going to talk to some people about that tonight. But I know for myself, the journey has been long. The journey is long, excuse me, because I'm still on it. I haven't had the bestseller yet. Haven't had the book made into a movie yet. I haven't had the 10,000 seat arena that I'm speaking to people to. Haven't had that yet. Haven't had the opportunity to help that many people. And so the journey, it's a laborious one. You got to write and write again. You've got to speak and speak again. You've got to try and try again. You've got to fall down and get back up. And I like what Les Brown says, when you fall, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And so what are those things that keep you going, keep you on the journey? We've got some questions that were sent in to us by some people sent some questions in to us. If you have a question, you can put it on the screen. You can send it in to drshigg@gmail.com. If you have a question for myself as it relates to the journey, the goal, and all of those things, thank you, dear. It's coming soon. And we have a question from San Diego. It says, how do I make my goal something that I can do daily? How do you make your goal something that you can do daily? First, you have to have a routine. What is it that you do? What is it that is going to remind you of your of the goal? What is it that's going to help you continue to look at the goal and see the goal? What is it today that's going to help you get to that goal? What is it, whatever the goal may be? What is it that's going to help you do just that? And you have to have a routine for that. You have to have something that you're doing regularly for that, and something that's going to be progressive. Hello? Oh, I thought someone was on the phone. Progressive. And you have to make sure that it's progressive. Make sure that it's something that's going to move you further to the goal. Make sure it's something that is going to enhance what you're trying to do. Is like getting a first down. The goal is the end zone, but we need a first down. If we're not going to throw a long Hail Mary, we need a first down. So what's going to get me a first down? What's going to give me the yardage that I need? What's going to do that? And depending on what that goal is, you're going to have to create the routine, the regimen that's going to get you the first down, and get you another first down, and get you another first down. Keep getting yardage so that you can get in the end zone, and whatever that is, the book published. I know when this my last book, Go Get It, I had to have it done for an event by March 17th. And then I had to make sure I started working on it September of 2017, because it had to be ready on the desk at the event, March 2018. And so I had to have something that I was doing regularly, writing every day to finish it, and then proofing it, and then sending it in, and then getting it back and redoing it, all those things. So how do you make your goal something that you can do daily? You have to have a routine. The routine has to be repeated. It has to be done regularly. And it has to be something that's going to progress you. Sometimes we think activity is productivity, but activity is not necessarily productivity. Activity is doing something. Productivity is advancing. And so your goal needs to be something that will cause you to advance. Your goal will be something that has to be something that will cause you to go forward, to continue to go towards the end zone, and if you will, the end zone. Someone asked a question. Someone, Kim from Las Vegas, asked, is there a structure when we talk about goals? Because we can have a lot of goals. How do you focus on and accomplish one goal at a time? Well, that's about order, and that's about placing priorities on the goal. Now we have, the big goal. The big goal is to be the best #1 encouragement speaker in the world. That's the goal. The goal is to write books that help people. The goal is to have a best-selling book. That's the goal. And now you have to have short-term goals to accomplish the big-term goals. The short-term goal, write a good book this time. The short-term goal, speak words that's going to change people's lives. And so the focus is not on speaking to 10,000 people. The focus is on changing people's lives. Okay, we're going to answer this phone. KLIQ, this is the Encouragement Show, the place to talk about your passions, products, and possibilities. How can I help you?
Hi, Pastor Shigg. This is Christian Irvin.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I want to thank you. This is our first guest, our first caller, Miss Christian Irvin. I want to thank you for taking out the time because I know you're a busy young lady, and so I appreciate you taking out the time to be with us today.
Oh, thank you. No problem.
We're talking about the pursuit, the journey. Give us a real quick introduction of yourself, what you're doing, and we're going to jump into our conversation.
I am Christian Irvin. I am currently a CNA at the USLA Calvin Home, and I'm currently in pursuit of my RN.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. One of the things that we hear about is people, why people don't do certain things because of the fear of failure. What has been your biggest fear on this journey, and how did you deal with it? How are you dealing with it?
I would have to say my biggest pursuit is if I'm good enough.
Okay.
Many times we have the fear of, will I be able to do it? Will I be able to complete the job? We hear everybody else's stories, their horror stories about, how they failed at it, or how they don't think that they're good at it. So we kind of take on all of their fears and make them our own. And so currently I know I've just been having to watch who I talk to and how I share my dreams with them, and all those things. Sometimes you have to protect your dreams, to make sure that they come to pass.
Protect my dreams, who I talk to, the fear of was I good enough. That's good. Why did you choose nursing?
I have always been interested in nursing. As a little girl, kind of watched my grandfather, go in and out the hospital. Mm-hmm. And so I was in, he let me give him his insulin shots, and, let me do all those things, check his blood sugar. And I was like fascinated with all these things.
Okay.
And so I've always been interested in it, but probably when I graduated high school, I started but didn't finish because I just got distracted with things that you get distracted with when you're 18.
Okay.
But now I'm back focused and, ready to pursue my dreams.
Okay, on the journey, in your case, nursing, career journey, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. So what would you say has been the biggest sacrifice that you've had to make?
For me, honestly, my biggest sacrifice, I'd say, is have to not spend time with, like, my family and stuff.
Okay.
I currently live in Los Angeles County. My family lives in Riverside County, and so I had to move away from them, which we've all pretty much, have always been right up under each other.
Okay.
And but you know, moving away and, you know, just really being on my own now. And so I know that, you know, spending time with them, not being able to come to every family function, you know, with all my cousins, friends, and, you know, having to say no sometimes. I really want to go, but I know I can't.
Okay.
You know,
So let me ask you a question. So why did you make those sacrifices?
because, well, for one, I know that, you know, with anything comes sacrifice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anything great you want to pursue, you have to sacrifice. You know, nothing is ever, you know, given to you. You have to sacrifice for it. So, but then number two, you know, like I'm a type of person, like when I work wholeheartedly.
Okay.
And so, you know, like if they call me in, I'm going.
Okay.
My family knows that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like to miss a dollar. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go get my money.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Christian. On the journey, support is so important. So from the perspective of one that needs support and has been supported, how has that helped in the pursuit? How does that help on the journey?
You know, I hear sometimes, you know, people say things like, you know, yeah, I did it on my own and stuff like that, but I know that that's not possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if the person is not directly connected to you, you've been supported by someone. You know what I'm saying? Someone encouraged you along the way. Someone said that was good. Oh, I like that idea. No matter if they were your family, friends, whoever it was, you know, maybe the little old lady that just saw you walking down the street, saw your head down. She just encouraged you with a smile, whatever it was.
Okay.
But I believe that, you know, support is very much needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot, because you'll get distracted, you'll get tired, you know, all those things. You'll start self-doubting. You know what I'm saying? Self-doubt will come into play. And so sometimes you need someone from the outside to say, nope, you're on the right track. No, I like that. No, keep going. You know, and it helps you, you know what I'm saying? It gives you that motivation to keep going.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. Closing out, one last question. Say something to somebody. You're on the journey. Yours is academic. Yours is career-wise. Nursing is not necessarily an easy task. Help somebody that is on their journey for whatever. Help them to take one more step. What would you say to them when they say, I feel like quitting?
You know, I'm always talking to people at my job, and I always tell them, your journey is your journey. Please stop looking at everyone else's journey. Because they did it quicker than you, just because they've done it. You know, it seems like they've done it better than you, or it was faster for them. I always say your journey is just your journey. You have to complete your journey, because what you are going through and what, you know what I'm saying, your journey may be is going to help someone else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so you have to complete your task. Everything that is a, you know, an obstacle in front of you, you have to complete that. You have to get through that. Therefore, you can have your own testimony and not someone else's testimony.
Oh, I like that. I like that. You just helped 7,000 people, Miss Christian, and I want to take. I want to thank you because I know you're taking this day to get some rest from yesterday, from working and everything like that, and I want to appreciate you taking out the time for being with us and just taking the time, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
This is the Encouragement Show. We're talking to people that are on their journey, and this is the place to talk about your passions, products, and possibilities. And we're going to continue this journey. We are here to help people. And so we have our next caller on the phone. How are you? Hello, this is KLIQ, the Encouragement Show, the place to talk about your passions, products, and possibilities. How are you this evening?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I want to thank you for taking out the time to be with us, Miss Mariana. Thank you so kindly. And I want to tell you about this young lady. She did a great favor for me. I had a last-minute cancellation, and my cousin hooked me up. And so thanks, Cousin Simeon, and thank you, Miss Mariana, for helping a brother out this evening.
Absolutely.
So give us a quick introduction, and we want to jump into our conversation. We're talking about the journey, and yours is entrepreneurship. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on.
Okay. My name is Myriana Garnett, and I am a paparazzi independent consultant with Paparazzi Accessories. Just like anyone else, I was caught up in the corporate America. I loved it. It got me to where I am, but it was just something more. It was more that I was searching for other than, the traffic, getting to work and clocking in, the short breaks, that we were granted.
Right.
And it was just something more that I needed. So I tried, multi-level marketing business in paparazzi, where we sell nickel and lead free $5 amazing jewelry.
Okay.
And I did that both while still going to work. And it became my passion. I started to enjoy what I was doing, and I saw how it changed my life, my family's life, and, my team's life. And I just found success in it. So I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job once I literally started making, 5-6 times than what I was making in corporate America.
Right.
I have almost 1,700 people on my team that I have, helped train and help them be successful in the business. And the journey wasn't always beautiful, but it was definitely worth it. And I'm just so proud of being a part of something like this, where I'm able to not only be successful, but I'm able to help others be successful as well.
You mentioned, and we talked to the journey, and I spoke with Miss Irvin earlier, and we were talking about the journey, and we talked about sacrifices, and I'm going to ask you one of the same questions I asked her. On the journey, what has been, what is, or has been your biggest fear on this journey, and how do you deal with it? I'm asking you the same question because different people, and as a Christian said, your journey is your journey, so there's going to be different fears on that journey and different ways of handling it. And so I want to ask you, what has been your biggest fear on this entrepreneurial journey? And also, excuse me, how did you handle it? What has been the biggest fear, excuse me for interrupting, and how did you handle it?
Okay, so I want to say my biggest fear now, we're talking about multi-level marketing business. And my biggest fear is, failure with my team. And depending on, what they're doing affects me.
Okay.
And it's a fear because, with multi-level marketing business or any entrepreneurship, you have to work at getting your income. And so that can be a fear. It's not something where no matter how sick I am, I have to go and clock in at a job, and no matter if I just sit there and do nothing, I'm going to get paid. This, you actually have to work at it. So me quitting my job and doing this full time was fearful because it's like, it all falls on me. It's no longer, clocking in. It's every little thing that I do contributes to my success and my income in this business.
Right.
And, you asking how would I handle that? It became my passion. So it was no longer more about the money. It was about, like I said, I'm part of something where I'm able to help others. So as long as my team wants it, and as long as they have an interest and just a small mustard seed faith that they can be successful, even along with myself, that's all I needed to help them. This business, I am able to encourage, uplift, and empower people. And for me, that goes much farther than, knocking on someone and say, hey, are you still interested? Or hey, are you still, doing the business? I'm able to tell people that they are beautiful every day. I'm able to tell people that they can win, that they can be successful. Here is how you do it. And as long as they just have a little bit of a mustard seed faith that they're able to accomplish something, I'm able to help them take that farther, along with, of course, God's help, farther than they can imagine. And
Okay.
I'm seeing it being done every single day.
Okay. Like, oftentimes people have tried several vehicles, several businesses, in your case, several businesses, and others are in different businesses, and others have tried different modes or different ways of accomplishing the goal. How do you know, and how did you know that this is the one? I hear you say passion, and I can sense it in your voice. And how did you know this was the one? And what makes this more than just, and I don't mean any disrespect, what makes this more than just selling earrings? And how did you know this is the one?
Okay, so how I knew this was the one, first of all, I have done other multi-level marketing businesses, and I love them. However, this one in particular, it was, first of all, there's a couple parts of this question. First of all, it was easy. I didn't have to really do a lot of explaining the
Okay.
thing. I didn't have to do much of, a long presentation. It was easy because all I had to do was show it. I didn't have to be a salesperson where I had to convince someone to buy a product.
Right.
And it was either they want it or they don't. I don't have to really tell them the color. I don't have to tell them the length. It's either they want it or they don't. And then another thing is, a salesperson is someone who has to kind of convince or pressure someone into buying something. This product is affordable. And there's one thing that made me say that this is a business that I want to be a part of. There was a young lady an older lady who bought a red necklace for me. And this was a game changer for me in my business. She bought a red necklace for me, and she said, she inboxed me. She said, you know what, Mariana, I put on this red necklace, and I put on an outfit that matched with it, and I put on, red lipstick that I haven't worn in a while. And she said, I was in the kitchen washing dishes, and she said, my husband came in, and he said that I was beautiful. And she said, you know what, I just fell in his arms in tears.
Okay.
Because in our marriage, it was kind of rocky, and that was the first time that I had ever heard him say that in about 7 years. And that was when I said, wow, $5 jewelry can, just the simple fact that she bought it and she put it on, it gave her so much more than just adding to her outfit. It gave her confidence. It gave her a different, outlook on herself that her husband saw. It wasn't just something that she saw, but something that her husband saw. And that's when I said, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to give people this feeling. That's when I knew it was for me.
Okay. And so basically, that conversation, and I'm quite sure you've had more than just that one, that's what made it more than just selling earrings.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. We're talking about the journey, and the journey is difficult. Sometimes people say no. Sometimes people say, I don't like multi-level marketing. Some people say, those different things. So what keeps you going? What keeps you going when you may have 5 no's in a row, when you have a rough day and, I don't feel like showing any jewelry? What keeps you going?
What keeps me going is, and I know the young lady who spoke before me talked about this, but I am extremely over the top passionate about what I do, and I focus on the good and not the bad. I focus on the yeses that I know will come out of those no's. And for me, when people tell me no or they're not interested, a lot of times it's just not right now. So for me, I take it as a challenge. The negativity that I get out of it, I take it as a challenge. A lot of people say, oh, no, I don't like that. I don't like that necklace. That's not for me. Or, no, I don't want to be a part of this business. It's not for me. I take that and I take it as a challenge, and it fuels me to say, okay, I'm going to change your mind. So I may put on the same necklace that they said that they weren't, they didn't really like. And I'll put it on. I'll put on, a nice outfit, and I'll take a picture and I'll put on my confident hat. And that is what people like. And so they'll end up buying that necklace because they saw how I wore it. And how I sported it in a picture. And then when people say no to the business, if they say they don't have time or they don't, this is not something that they want to do, I make sure that I negate their no, and I show them how they can implement it. So whatever their reasons why they don't, I show them how it is possible. There's always a possibility.
I like that.
That's how I keep going.
Always a possibility.
Always.
Okay. I just need you to pray for me for forgiveness, because some things that you've been saying are stealable, and I don't want to become a klepto, but I think I'm going to steal that one.
Absolutely. Go ahead and take it.
And see, it's not stealing if I tell you I'm doing it, is it? Because you know I'm going to do it. I want to thank you. Being in business, being in on the pursuit, there has to be, and you've alluded to it, but I just want to point it out again. There has to be something bigger than just what you're doing. What is the satisfaction that makes the journey, the hiccups, and as Miss Christian talked about, the distractions? What makes it all of that worth dealing with all of that?
Yep.
What is it that for you? What is it that makes it worthwhile with dealing with all the no's and the distractions, and you still have a family life to deal with and going on. So what makes it worth it all?
What makes it worth it all for me is seeing lives change.
Ah, yes.
I love seeing how my team is able to pay for something as small as gas to put in their car.
Okay.
Something as huge as buying a home. Something as someone looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, Mariana? A year ago, I would never be able to say that I was confident or beautiful or that I was smart or that I was savvy,
okay,
enough to do something. And I believe that is such, if people have a confidence about themselves,
right,
or something where they are successful in something, that they can take that and run with it, and it can be contagious. And because I'm a part of something that is contagious, that leads to prosperity, that is what makes it worth it to me. It makes it worth it for the long phone calls, the staying up late, taking the no's, taking the negative. That's what makes it worth it to me, is that I'm able to see lives change in so many different aspects. And because I know that God, his pursuit and one of his goals that he has is to see, the lives change on earth. I want to be a part of that. And if it means that that's what this, my journey gives to people, that's what I want to be a part of.
That's great. Now, as we close, how can someone get in touch with you if they want to be a part of this business, they want to be on this journey, they want to experience this? How can they get in touch with you?
They can add me on my social media, Mariana Garnett, that's spelled Myriahna, Garnett like the stone, or they can email me at myri_kidd@yahoo.com.
Give it to us one more time.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, give it to us one more time.
The email is myri_kidd@yahoo.com, but most importantly, add me on Facebook.
Okay.
Type in my name, Mariana Garnett.
Okay, and you have been an example of a success journey, continuing on the journey, and I really appreciate that, and I want you to thank you for taking the time being with us today.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
No problem, no problem. You stay encouraged.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We have been talking with some people that have made a difference, that are changing things, and the number to call in, my next guest can call in at 323-300-8132. Give us a call. We're waiting for our next guest. But as both of them said, and if you listen, you heard it in Christian's voice, you heard it in Mariana's voice, the excitement when Christian started talking about taking care of her grandfather, giving him his insulin, and being able to do all those things. There was an excitement. There was an excitement to her voice for being able to do that. And then Mariana's excitement, the same thing, excited about what she was doing, what she was talking about. And so those are the things that can help you on the journey. Those are the things that help you understand that this is your journey. 323-300-8132. 8132. Did I give her the right number, Shelly? I did it. Okay, so yeah, that's the right number. I appreciate it, Miss Chriselle. And don't hate me for calling you Chriselle. I know your name's Chriselle. I've been knowing you all your life, so I know your name's Chriselle. So give me a call, 323-300-8132. But being on the journey, the distractions, but it has to be something, as Miss Mariana said, it's got to be, in her case, it's more than just selling earrings. It's making a difference. And you could see and sense the excitement when she talked about helping people. And so that's what's going to keep you on the journey, your journey. And we're going to continue talking about being on the journey, and we want to help you on your journey. Yours may be business, entertainment, whatever the case may be. And we're continuing with our next caller, our next guest. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Miss Chriselle. We're on the phone with Miss Chriselle Briand, and this is the Encouragement Show, the place to talk about your passions, products, and possibilities. Before we jump into our conversation, give us a brief introduction about yourself and the journey that you're on.
Wow. Chriselle Briand. A lot of people know me as, a songstress.
Very good one too.
It plays thank you. Music plays a big part in my life, a huge part in my life. My whole entire family has been known for music. My parents were in music, singing with a lot of local people when they were younger, and it kind of just trickled into myself and my siblings who also sing and play instruments. And now I have the pleasure of pouring that same energy into my own children.
Now see, for somehow, I know God doesn't play favorites, but somehow, Miss Chriselle, it just don't seem right. Your mama, your daddy, your brother plays the drums, and I heard him singing one day. He didn't think nobody was listening, and then you sing, and now your babies. It's just not fair.
You know what? We all have it, honestly.
And your sister?
You really can't help it. We used to joke when I was younger, being in the house, all of us sang. So we used to joke and call my dad Joe Jackson. And we would call my mother Joe Jackson's wife.
Right.
Not Catherine, because Catherine was nice and sweet and played the role.
Uh-huh.
But my mother, we called her Joe Jackson's wife because she could be just as harsh and ready to go in as much as my dad would. So, it actually taught me, I'll speak for me, it taught me a lot growing up, learning the different areas of industry, whether it be gospel, secular, because I kind of had a mix of both growing up.
Okay.
My dad sung with the Delphonics Review.
Right.
And, he was still the minister of music in churches. And I kind of got a glimpse of, both arenas.
Exactly.
And a positive and a negative, but you live and you learn. I got to see so much, and now as an adult, I'm venturing into those areas on my own, and the things that he kind of showed me are the things that I was able to watch. I'm able to apply them in my own life now, and it's actually kind of it's a great feeling because I can talk to my dad now, and I'm like, Dad, you remember when I was sitting at rehearsal and you would do this and this? And I always talked about you, and now I'm the adult, and I'm the one doing that same thing, and the kids laugh at me.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. On this journey to singing, the music, and you sing by yourself, but you sung with other people, and on that journey, and I'm asking this because there are other artists, entertainers, singers, but also other people on their particular journey that this would be helpful to. What is or has been for you the biggest struggle on this journey?
Wow, the biggest struggle for me would probably be because in LA everybody sings. Right. And for me, my struggle was, well, you're just like everybody else. Ooh. And I really had to tell myself, Chriselle, you're different. Chriselle, you don't sound like this person. That person doesn't sound like you. And my story is not the other person's story. So I literally got to a place where I didn't want to sing anymore.
Really?
I was like, well, she sounds better than me, or she can do this better than I can, or, you know, he can do this and that, and, you know, he can make the room just, you know, go crazy.
Right.
And then here I am like, oh, now it's my turn to get up? Really? So I really had to ask God to give me the confidence that I needed to be who I am. And honestly speaking, when I prayed that prayer, God showed me so much of who I am. And my confidence put me in a place where I was okay to minister, because I was like, you know what? Nobody can tell my story the way I can.
Right.
And what I'm able to do for people, somebody else may not. So I can't be discouraged, because then I won't be able to minister to that person who needs to hear what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So that was one of my biggest struggles. And I'm so glad that I finally have come to a place where, you know, I'm okay with being one in a group of others and still make sure that I stand out, because I want to make sure that my voice and my story and my song is being heard and ministering to people in ways that someone else may not be able to.
Exactly. And when you do sing, one of the things that happens when you sing, I don't know what that is, but it creates a lot of dust in whatever room you're in, and it just starts messing with my eyes. I don't know what it is, but it just circulates, you know, all those things. And it's like I said, and so I don't know what that thing is, but I'm gonna have to be careful the next time I hear you sing.
You know what? I'm gonna make sure it's not allergy season.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. I asked Miss Mariana the same question. But how did you know, aside from the fact that this is, you know, what your parents do and your brother is good at it and your sister is good at it, how did you know that you were supposed to do this? Because, you know, oftentimes people fall into a journey because that's what everybody is doing. That's what my family does. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's your journey. So how did you know that this was your journey also?
I am going to take a quote from one of my favorite movies because it definitely applies to me. One of my movies, this is from Sister Act, and she said, if when you wake up in the morning, you think about singing, well, baby, you a singer.
Okay.
If you wake up ready to write, well, honey, you a writer. So me, I wake up singing. I go to sleep singing. Like, I don't know what, I cannot turn it off. And honestly, like even in conversations with people, I learned this at work actually. People will say something to me and I always have a song lyric to match what they're saying.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like, you really know a lot of music, don't you? And I was like, I guess I do, huh?
Right.
Like, I honestly believe that 98% of my brain is music.
Ooh, okay.
Like, it's crazy, but I just know, like, it's something about, you know, and it's not just gospel, it's not just R&B. Like, I literally love all types of music. You know, I love classical music, I love jazz, and these things, like, really, like, change my mood throughout the day. It's crazy. You know, I'm the person that listens to Christmas music throughout the year. It does not have to be December, but it changes my mood. It changes my thought process. Like, music really, like, it's my energy drink. And that's how I knew. I was like, you know what? This is really for me. Not just because it's connected to me and it's something that I've worked on, but it's really who I am.
Okay. So
I learned that very early on.
That is in you. And I'm going to shout out and hopefully not embarrass one of the people that is watching on Facebook right now, Sean Leonard Marsh. He and my little brother were real good friends and went to the same high school, and he did gymnastics there. He's coaching gymnastics now. I see you, Sean, when you're posting things. So it's in him. And like you just said, Chriselle, that you wake up singing. And so I'm quite sure he wakes up thinking about doing backflips, and this dude is 55 years old, and
That's how he gets out the bed in the morning.
Yeah, he flips. He does a backflip out the bed, and still doing it. So the thing that's in you, I tell people, they oftentimes ask me about, you know, passion. What are you passionate about, you know, in terms of your gift? It's what you think about, it's what you talk about, like you just said. And one of the ways you know that it's what you have to do is that you get upset when it's done wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know you, when somebody hits a note that they're supposed to hit and it's not a difficult note, they just didn't come to rehearsal. They did, and I can imagine what your face looks like, because I can imagine what your mama's face looked like when that happened.
And you know what? That is something that you definitely have to learn. Like, I think that I have been in many places where I've had to catch myself, because I don't want nobody to ever look at me and say, oh, well, she just thinks she, because that person didn't and she could have. Like, you just never know what people are thinking.
Right.
So
right.
I literally had to learn how to, like, smile through it, or not necessarily look down right at that moment. Maybe, wait a couple of seconds before I look down.
Okay.
Or, I might have a twitch. It's
right.
really hard. And, I mean, it comes with the territory.
That's true. That's true. You mentioned earlier about, and I wanted to ask you this question. You alluded to it, and there are people listening and watching that have felt like quitting. This journey is just too long. So have you ever felt like just quitting? I'm not going to sing anymore. I'm just going to stay in the background. And then how did you come out of it?
I've had that a few times. And, you kind of just have to trust that God gave you a gift. And for me, what kind of snaps me out of it is, I know that what I have is God-given.
Okay.
And it would be so disrespectful and a complete slap in his face if I were to say, I'm not going to do nothing with it.
Oh, I like that.
So, he entrusted me with this. Sometimes I don't understand why.
Right.
I really don't. And then there are times when I can be thinking, and to me, it's probably one of my worst. And somebody will come up to me and be like, Chriselle, what you just did, you have no idea what that did to me.
Okay.
Or that ministered, and that kind of like bumps up your energy. Like, you know what? Okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I am supposed to do this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if this is something that God is giving you, you have to go with it. Period, point blank. Because if you don't, he will take it away, and you will not know what to do with yourself once it's done. Because I've had those moments too, where it's like, I'm not going to do it, and then I try to sing something, and my face is on the floor, and I'm like, oh, so it's like that?
Okay.
I got you. I'm going to do right by what you gave me.
I
appreciate the gift,
and
I will make sure that I give it to people as you want me to give it.
Now, help somebody that's on their journey, be it singing, writing, speaking, academic, such as the case of Christian, our first caller. Somebody that's on their journey, what keeps you from saying, you're looking at the other person and they're making it. Okay, their book is selling, and what about mine? Their concerts are selling out. What about mine? People are, coming to their conferences. What about mine? Help somebody that feels that way to understand that part of the journey and what they can do about it. You understand what I'm asking?
Yes, sir. I definitely say don't give up. Like, that's the last thing on the list to do. Even if it means that you have to go to a round table with you, yourself, and I, and figure out another way to get yourself relaunched or recalibrate or whatever is necessary to do what you have to do. Never lose your hustle, because what you have is specifically for you and somebody needs it. It may not be right now. It could be 5 months from now, 5 years from now. But either way, what you have is God-given, and somebody needs it. And God's timing is never your own. So never sit there and say, well, I'm just going to let the other person do it because they clearly do it better. No, not necessarily. It's just their time.
Okay.
So watch them, learn what they're doing, apply it to yourself, your business, your action plans, whatever it is, and you keep going. Never, ever, ever give up. Ever. That's the last thing to do.
Very, very good. And like I said, and as you said earlier, in the field that you're in, especially here in LA, and there are probably some people watching in New York and Detroit and Philly and places like that, music places, everybody and their mama's a singer. And so
That part.
there's something that has to set you apart from just being just another singer. As we were talking with Mariana, something that sets her apart from just somebody selling earrings, or
Right.
with Christian, somebody just another nurse. And so you have to be set apart from that and do what you do the way that you do it. And I appreciate you giving the encouragement, giving your story to help somebody on their journey. And I appreciate you taking out the time for being with us. You have any projects coming up soon, or if someone needs an awesome, made it, fantabulistically great singer, if they need someone, how can they contact you?
You can definitely look me up on Facebook. I do have the messenger, so you can shoot me a message there, and I will put a plug in for those who need a good gospel album. Please go out and pick up Dietrich Haddon's album. I am singing background on the entire album.
Okay.
It's a great project. Please, please, please go get it. It's a great experience to be a part of in the car, at home, wherever. So support me on that.
All right. Miss Chriselle, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My grandfather says people don't have to be nice, and so when they are, you ought to say thank you. So I want to thank you for taking out the time to help me help my audience and those people who are on their particular journey. And thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Not a problem. I haven't seen your father in a while. Tell him I say hello.
I will do just that.
All right, then. You be blessed.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We have had some fantastic guests, fantastic conversation, and to all of you who are on your respective journeys, whatever that journey may be, business, it may be sales, it may be, in my case, writing, speaking, making a difference in people's lives. There has to be something bigger than just the mechanics. As each of our guests said, Miss Christian talked about being excited about doing the IVs, helping her grandfather, and Miss Mariana talked about seeing the people excited when they put on the jewelry and it changed something. And Miss Chriselle talked about waking up singing. The journey that you're on, whatever it may be, and she said it, each of them said it, never, 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 never give up. And I know sometimes that's easier said than done, but I want to take these last couple of minutes just to let you know that just keep going. And what helps you continue to go is to not only know your what, but you have to have a big enough why. Why are you singing? It has to be more than just making money. Why are you selling earrings? It has to be more than just making money. Why are you on the course to be a nurse? It has to be more than just getting a paycheck. See, the journey, money is a part of it, but that can't be the all of it. Because you have to have something that's going to push you. You're going to have something that's going to help you keep going. And now, the money will come. And I used to hear people say that all the time. And one of my frustrations was the people that I heard saying it, they already had the money. But what I realized, the money can't be the motivator. The money can't be the reason, but it will be a result. That's right. The money can't be the reason that you write, sing, sell the jewelry, become a nurse, whatever the case, what you're doing. The money can't be the reason, but it will be a result of it. And so the pursuit has to start with your why. See, the pursuit doesn't start with your feet. The pursuit doesn't really start in your head. It has to start in your heart, because that's what's going to help you write one more line. That's what's going to help you sing one more note. That's what's going to help you sell one more piece of jewelry. You have all the jewelry you need. Why do you care if they get another set of earrings, another bracelet? Because it's more than the bracelet. Why do you care, Sean, if they can do one more flip? Because it's more than just the flip. It's instilling confidence. It's instilling a sense of purpose. Why do I have to? I've had books that sold. I've had books that haven't sold. I've had events that were good events, and I've had events that were, let's say, learning experiences. And so, when it doesn't go the way I want it to go, frustrated, upset, my wife comforts me. I stay that way for 2-3 minutes, and then guess what? On to the next book. Guess what? On to the next event. But I just lost my shirt on this last one. And I'm not just saying stuff that has happened to me on more than one occasion. But had to do another event. Had to help some more people. Had to write another book. And so the journey has to be bigger than you. The journey has to be bigger than just that book, just that event, just that, and you fill in the blank. And so the journey is laborious. As I said at the top, it's laborious, it's long, it's work, it can be withering, but it's got to be worth it. And how do you know it's worth it? You've got to have a big enough why. You've got to have a big enough why. Why are you continuing to sing when you cracked at the last note? Why are you continuing to write? Why are you continuing to pursue selling whatever you're selling when the last 5 people said no? Because it's bigger than selling that. It's changing somebody's life. It's making a difference, and it's in you. And somebody asked me something about why I was doing what I was doing, and I told them I have to. I can't help it. I encourage people. I was in the store the other day to get some electronic equipment, something for my computer, and I spent more time talking to the lady, encouraging her, than it did, than it took me to get the piece that I was looking for. I can't help it. And so, and I'm not trying to, but your journey, yes, it's long. Yes, it can be difficult. Yes, but know your why. Be around the right people. Christian talked about that. Being around the right people. You can't tell everybody your dream, but somebody you can talk to. But you've got to stay encouraged. You've got to hold on. Because somebody needs what you have. That's going to do it for me. I trust that we said something today that encouraged you. Would you just help me help somebody and share this? Please share this with somebody. And if you didn't catch it from the top, you can see it on the replay. You can hear it on Ustream. You can see it on my YouTube channel. You can see it on my Facebook channel, Dwayne Shigg, or either Your Encouragement, Mint is spelled M-I-N-T. And get your copy of my latest book. Go get it, Stories and Steps to See Success, for a limited time only. You can get your autographed copy. PayPal, drshigg@gmail.com, $18.99. And I want you to remember, join me on Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. for your morning encouragement. If you want to be a sponsor of our program, contact me at drshigg@gmail.com. And remember, greatness is not your destination, it's your transportation. You stay encouraged. Be blessed.